It hasn't been a good week at Bungie or a good week to be a Destiny 2 fan. On Monday this week, roughly 100 staff were let go and the final shape was delayed. Since Monday, there's been a steady trickle of bad news coming out of Bungie, so today I want to get you caught up on all the latest goings on at Bungie and what this might mean for the future of Destiny 2. Well, Destiny 2 is on the ropes right about now, and ask any Destiny 2 player and they will tell you that it's been like this for some time. Lightfall wasn't very good, and the following seasons haven't really been up to standard, with the exception of the current Season of the Witch. 2023 is hyper competitive for gaming, with hit after hit releasing seemingly every week. Just in the past 2 weeks, we've had Alan Wake 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Spider-Man 2. All of those are Game of the Year candidates. Well, Destiny 2's popularity is seriously on the wane. According to a report from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg, revenue is down 45% against projections for the year, and Bungie informed their staff of this 2 weeks ago. And then, out of the blue, on Monday came the layoffs. Bungie's CEO Pete Parsons put poor performance down to poor player retention following the lackluster major expansion in Lightfall, and also less than expected pre-orders for the final shape, and that is the upcoming DLC of course, and also the final expansion in the Light vs Darkness saga. Internally, the final shape had been getting good feedback, not great feedback. We haven't heard officially from Bungie yet regarding the delay. I would imagine we are going to hear something this week in their This Week in Destiny update, if indeed it is still going to be published, given much of the community management team was in fact let go. Pete Parsons informed staff they'd be cutting costs for travel, implementing salary caps and a hiring freeze, and almost immediately after the news broke on Monday, open positions went down from about 70 to 30 on Bungie's website. And on Monday morning, up to 100 members of staff had a mysterious 15-minute meeting put into their calendar, and during that meeting, they were unfortunately let go from the company. That includes many members of the community management team, player support, legal, HR, art, writing, and audio, and it appears as if the developers weren't hit quite as hard, although the QA team was hit pretty hard with the layoffs as well. So during a town hall meeting on Monday where staff were informed of the layoffs, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons allegedly told staff they would be keeping the right people to continue to work on Destiny 2. Now, Bungie, they have taken responsibility for the layoffs themselves, and initially we thought it might have been more to do with Sony rather than Bungie. However, Parsons informed Bungie staff the layoffs were largely due to the underperformance of Lightfall, plus the lower than expected pre-orders of the final shape, as I mentioned before. Well, Bungie staff were told that player sentiment is at an all-time low, and that had been flagged to leadership in the months leading up to the layoffs. Staff wanted to turn things around and work on features to bring players back to Destiny 2, and the layoffs are in stark contrast to the reassurance they got when the Sony takeover happened, where Bungie specifically stated there would be no redundancies or layoffs, with $1.2 billion reserved for employee retention. However, it appears that if the underperformance of Lightfall has a considerably negative effect on players, and also now Bungie itself. Well, Destiny 2's popularity has been on the decline all year since the release of Lightfall. I can see that in interest of Destiny 2 videos, and you can all see that on Google Trends. The decline in interest is much more pronounced than in previous years. Lightfall, by many metrics, was a disaster, and the Destiny 2 player base knew it almost immediately after it came out. Now, this was supposed to be the Avengers Infinity War moment. We'd lose big time, which would set up a thrilling finale in the final shape. But what we got was a lackluster, incoherent story with characters that we weren't invested in. PvP has been on the decline for a good while, some might say a couple of years. Many big-name players left during Beyond Light when Stasis took over the Crucible, and it just made Crucible much less fun to play. Since then, we've edged towards an ability-heavy PvP sandbox, leading to many more big-name players leaving in droves. Now, given all of this, it shouldn't really be too much of a surprise that revenue is down 45%. Now, 2023 is also not a good year to have a lackluster player experience, given the quality of all the other games this year, including Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 4, Baldur's Gate 3, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Armored Core 6, Cyberpunk 2077 is good in 2023. So there's absolutely loads of competition this year. Now, talking about competition for eyeballs and spare time is very high, and Destiny 2 fans are feeling the fatigue, and if the player experience isn't up to the highest possible standard, then they're simply going to be playing other games. But what does this mean for the future of Destiny 2? Well, while I do think this is bad news this week for Bungie staff, for players, for everybody really, I don't think Destiny 2 is going anywhere. While the final shape is going to be delayed by a few months, I still think Bungie can deliver a great final shape expansion, and I can only hope that an extra few months worth of development will turn it from being good into great. As for the future of Destiny 2, well now, I'm not really sure. If you'd have asked me about the future of Destiny 2 last week, I would have said, it's going to move into the episode structure post-final shape, and then we're likely to see another expansion in 2025. But now, after the events of this week, I'm not really sure. I think the happy path from this point is that Bungie make good on their promise to make the final shape the best expansion it can be, and then focus development on the 3 announced episodes, working towards that unannounced expansion, hopefully coming in 2025 or maybe in 2026. But given Bungie's split focus with Destiny 2, Marathon, and that game codenamed Gummy Bears, I'm not really as confident as I once was. Well, let me know what you think about the situation in the comments, and also keep an eye on Bungie tomorrow and what they have to say in This Week in Destiny. We don't know yet if that article is going to be published, and that is the weekly article that always gets published every Thursday. Unless there's a major holiday, it always gets published. So it'll be really interesting to see what gets published tomorrow, if anything gets published at all. Well, that is it today for this look at Bungie being in trouble, but let me know down in the comments what you think. Be really interested to hear what you think about the whole situation. Unfortunately, this week it does seem to be bad news, but hopefully we'll get back to some normality sometime soon. I don't know about you, I'm going to hop into the game and find an activity I really like to play, and I really hope you can find the same as well. Well, thank you as always for watching, really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you really soon.